Hi guys, my name is Borrodante, and this is the cover I painted for the new album of Kevin Folk called Fount Everspring. The album is out today, so check out the link in the description to listen to the whole thing for free and look at this cover artwork a bit closer or further away, depends. So in this video I wanted to make the announcement about the album and just share the cool artwork I did. I'm kind of really proud of this, especially due to the fact of how much struggle I went through to actually get to this image, which is kind of interesting. So let's start a journey of Fount Everspring cover development. This picture, you may have seen it on the App Store page of Craft Pro, because this was the first picture where I kind of made something interesting in Craft Pro back then. So this is what I uploaded to the App Store. This was actually a first attempt to search the cover for Fount Everspring. So it was actually rectangular on a bit of a lower level of detail. Then I just stretched it to these proportions and finished it on top. Which is an interesting thing about landscapes. You kinda can stretch them as much as you want and then finalize on top. They all still look fine. So yeah, the first version, I kinda liked the process. I felt good doing this, but of course this was just a generic kind of a river or something, and that's it. Like, nothing magical about the place. Fount Everspring is a magical, not even magical, but just like that special place that you wanna reach, that everyone wants to reach, where there is an infinite source of inspiration. Like a place where you're always inspired and you want to do stuff and you're creative and whatever. A never-ending stream of power, but in a very like natural and positive nature of it. So Kevin had an idea to make some kind of body of water or a fountain, hence the name of the album, implement that into the cover. So this first version didn't really work out. Then we moved on and I did this. So this is closer to what is supposed to be, like nature is much more unusual, magical or something, and I implemented this weird Baroque style mirror that has water streaming out of it. And so this is a place where we go to reach our inspiration. But it was kind of weird in the sense that all these bits of nature, like here and there, it's all floating separately from each other in just blue sky. This didn't really work out as water, so everything felt like it was flying around. Of course, I could kind of develop it further to connect it all together. Generally, I kind of like the idea even, but I don't know, it didn't really work out. I felt very like there was a lot of struggle doing this. So then Kevin said, let's make it a bit more abstract, like some kind of shape that would create this cycle of water. So I did that, like implemented more of these curly Baroque things from like a classical mirror or classical furniture kind of situation, which was one of the things that we thought would be a good idea to implement into the style of the picture. But still, this went even worse. Like, I felt so uninspired about creating this weird faceless place. And in the end, I just felt like I need to create a character. So after this, I just sat down and created something completely different, which was the girl that we see in the final version of the cover, but not right away. The first version looked like this. So this was a fun search, but the result was kind of odd. This was one of those moments when I just turned on the music and started catching the flow. And this happened in just an hour and 20 minutes or something like that. And there was this factor that I was like too close to it. I didn't really understand the full context of the picture. Like, I was going for some kind of warm and intimate feeling of catching the stream of inspiration that the water is floating upwards and this woman is experiencing it. But in the end, the colors and the facial expression made her look like she's some kind of devious character, like she's evil in the night and maybe with an odd and dark sexual context. It was kind of weird. This is not what I was going for. So Kevin looked at it and said the same thing. This whole thing and all the previous stages, by the way, everything was done in Craft Pro only. So that's where I was searching everything. So then I moved it to RStudio Pro and color corrected it, and then moved it back to Craft Pro to search the shapes a bit more. So this was almost exactly the final version. There was a bunch of other stages in between, but more or less this is the progress. So yeah, much nicer colors right away. It felt like this is the thing now. This is working out. So after this stage, I moved it to RStudio Pro for good, made a big resolution, and started detailing. And yeah, this is where we got the final look with cool details, nice colors. I don't know, I really like this picture. Tell me guys what you think about it. And by the way, this is the project in RStudio Pro. You can see the detail of this refraction from the water. It was actually the very final touch I added. So if I wouldn't think of it, the cover would look like this. And interestingly enough, it's making a huge difference. Like, this is so much more exciting looking than this. So yeah, adding a much more saturated and stronger colors and details to the main spot of the image, and just adding some details where the picture was kind of lacking it. And of course, adding a great underwater feel to the whole thing. So yeah, the previous stages went like that. We were searching the shapes of the water drops. This is me detailing further and making the water drops more transparent. Another color correction, so there were 2 stages of getting the final color scheme. And yeah, more and more search on the water drops and going to the very lowest resolution. RTX off, RTX on. So this is it. This is how the whole process went down. I wonder if I have recording. Probably not. Oh, I have! Awesome! So yeah, as you can see in the beginning, I imported this picture, color corrected it, then it's suddenly a different stage because I moved on and did more work in Craft Pro, and this is me continuing working here. So there we go, we have a process for the video. So the biggest thing I can take away from all of this process is that it really matters to invest some time and thought into the picture and not just slam your colors all over the place the way I did in some of the recent episodes, especially simply because I wanted to do the whole habits to make videos. Recently, as I said, I'm not promising a good quality of whatever I'm doing, so that's what we got. But yeah, this is giving like a good inspiration towards the fact that if you just stay with a picture for a little while and invest your thought into it, like spend some energy to actually fall in love with it and think on how to really like think from inside of it, like this is you and you're improving yourself, that kind of feel. Like you should connect your ego to the picture. That way it grows naturally into something much better, something that will like really uncover your potential as an artist. It's probably not a huge revelation for most people, but for me as a YouTuber and this schedule of making a lot of paintings and overpaints all the time, like literally every day I'm doing something new, switching back and forth between the projects, it gets you into the state where no painting matters. Like you will drop it in a few hours, so it feels like you can't really find a good reason to invest yourself truly into what you're painting. But today, as I'm thinking about this whole thing, it really feels like this is some sort of a secret muscle that any artist should develop. Being able to fall in love and invest yourself into even the quickest painting. Really think it through and live through it so it would feel like something complete in your head first. Only after that it will... Whoa, what is going on there? Some masking, probably. I guess it was recorded. But yeah, only by going through everything you can really feel the picture, and actually it will lead you to creating a better painting with less struggle and with less rushing. This is one thing that I remember in the very beginning of doing YouTube. I was constantly reminding myself out loud that I shouldn't rush. I had this thing that a speed painting for some reason has to be painted fast. That's not how things are done. It's actually kind of quite the opposite as you actually practice it and try it out. The slower you make the strokes, the more accurate and well thought out you make the strokes, the less strokes you will have to make. And that's what will really make the whole process much faster. Just going slower, actually. And I think this is a good time to remind myself exactly that, because I really sometimes feel like I'm not using my full potential on the paintings. They're much worse than they could have been, simply because I rush somewhere for some reason, when there's no need for that. In the same time span of recording a video, I could have done much better job just by not rushing it. Interesting, the video is still going, but I don't see any progress. Oh, there we go, on the ear. Yeah, that's always some kind of struggle to me to figure out whether you guys can see the progress when I'm making a time-lapse moment in the video. Because there are no cursors in iOS, so you can't really see where my brush is. You can only see the change on the painting. But yeah, with the recent really quick artworks, I think it wasn't really a problem. When you start a painting, it's always easier on that part, simply because the changes are really big and obvious. So yeah, as usual, doing my thing of jumping all over the place, never staying at the same part. Ooh, some blushes. I added red color to the skin and made it look much better right away, and toned it down a bit afterwards. What was that? Liquefied the lips a bit, apparently. Oh, there we go, that's me adding the last part. So yeah, it was literally, what was it? I think overlay layer? Just adding these things on top, imagining how they would stretch from the top onto the surface of the face. So in here it's stretching more, and in here it's more prominent and sharp shape, and on the forehead as well. So yeah, I guess this is it. I did some tiny polish moments afterwards, but that's not gonna be very noticeable. Yep, there we go. So this is it. This is our journey through the Fount Everspring cover. Tell me guys what you think about the final result. And of course, don't forget to check out the full album for free in the link in the description. And I thank you for watching if you did. I guess you did if you're here. Leave a like and subscribe. Tell a friend. Slow down. Do whatever you want, but slowly. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.